Two tiny tiger cubs, Spot and Stripe, are on the verge of a major milestone in their young lives. Raised in the safety and comfort of human care, the world they know is about to be flipped upside down. These cubs, once only familiar with the confines of their nursery, are about to be introduced to the wild world of adult tigers. They've lived their lives surrounded by the safety of humans, but now they face their greatest challenge: being accepted by the grown tigers at the zoo, where the scent of massive predators fills the air. They've spent their entire lives with human caretakers, but this is the moment that will define their futures. Will they be welcomed into the adult tiger's domain, or will they be seen as trespassers, unworthy of the territory? As Spot and Stripe slowly grow and develop, they become increasingly aware of their surroundings. They've grown up with human interaction, but the day is fast approaching when their world will expand beyond the nursery and human guardians. It's a process that Giles, their primary caregiver, has been preparing them for since the day they were born. In just over a month, the cubs will be too large to stay in the care of humans, and it's vital that they are introduced and accepted by the other adult tigers in the zoo. If this does not go smoothly, Spot and Stripe could face exclusion, possibly even danger. The tigers of the compound aren't known for their patience, and they aren't always welcoming to newcomers, especially young cubs who are still finding their place in the world. Giles is well aware of the stakes. He and his team have worked with the adult tigers at the zoo for years, caring for a group of 10 adult tigers in the compound. These tigers are not to be taken lightly. Each of them is a powerful apex predator, capable of incredible strength and speed. The zoo's tiger compound is home to a range of adult tigers, each with their own established territory and social dynamics. Some of them are territorial and can be aggressive toward any perceived intruder. While there are always human caretakers keeping a watchful eye, there's no guarantee that Spot and Stripe will be able to win over every adult tiger they meet. The cubs have had limited exposure to the adults up until this point. They've spent their early lives in the safety of their human caretaker's home, where they've interacted with humans and observed the larger tigers through the safety of thick glass walls. But these glass walls are about to come down. Today is the day that Spot and Stripe are introduced to the open air of the adult tiger compound for the first time, and it's not a small step. It's a test. A test that will determine whether or not they can coexist with the adult tigers, or if they'll be driven out, forced to remain isolated. This isn't just a chance for them to socialize, it's a chance to prove that they belong. The first step is getting the cubs used to the environment. The air around them is thick with the scent of other tigers, a sensory overload for the cubs. Every corner of the compound carries the scent of the adult tigers, strong, pungent, and unmistakable. For a young tiger cub, this is an entirely new world, and they can't help but react to it. They are cautious, their noses twitching, as they take in the overwhelming scents of their much larger relatives. The air is full of the lingering odors of the adult tigers, the ones who roam freely and often pass through the compound, leaving their scent behind. It's a new type of stimulation for the cubs, one that's much more intense than anything they've experienced before. Giles watches closely, guiding them through the compound, but letting them experience the smells and sounds on their own terms. He knows that it's vital for the cubs to understand this new environment before they are thrown into direct contact with the adults. The cubs, still young and impressionable, need to get used to walking through this space, familiarizing themselves with the environment. But this is also a moment where they must begin to understand the social structure of the tiger community. They will need to know how to behave around the adults, how to show respect, and how to read the subtle cues that each tiger gives off. The first big challenge for the cubs will come when they meet Maneki, one of the adult tigers. Maneki is a striking figure, an experienced and powerful adult tiger who has never encountered cubs before. This will be her first introduction to young tigers, and Giles hopes that she will show tolerance. But there's always a chance that things could go wrong. In the wild, a confrontation between adult tigers and cubs is a deadly encounter. Tigers are territorial, and an adult tiger might view an unfamiliar cub as a potential threat. Spot and Stripe are still small compared to the mighty Maneki, and they have no experience with adult tigers in this context. This encounter could determine everything. As the moment arrives, the tension builds. The cubs have been walking through the compound for a while now, getting used to the environment, but now they will meet their first adult tiger. Maneki approaches slowly, her muscular frame moving gracefully through the compound. She's wary, but she's also curious, eyeing the cubs as they stand before her. Spot and Stripe, still unsure of what to do, watch as Maneki gets closer. They're cautious, their little bodies stiffening as they take in her massive presence. Maneki's calm, slow movements don't seem threatening, but the cubs can't help but feel a sense of unease. Then, to everyone's relief, the cubs do something unexpected. They chuff. This soft, low sound is a form of tiger communication, a way to show non-aggression and convey friendliness. It's a sound of reassurance, a way to signal to another tiger that no harm is intended. The cubs chuff at Maneki, showing that they come in peace. Maneki pauses, her head tilting slightly as she processes the sound. She chuffs back, a soft, reassuring sound that echoes the cub's own. It's a sign of recognition, of acceptance. The encounter could have gone in many different directions, but this time it's going well. Giles watches the interaction with a sense of pride. He knows that this is a good sign. The cubs have shown their first sign of communication, and Maneki has responded in kind. No aggression, no hostility, just a quiet understanding between the two parties. The first hurdle has been passed, and it's a big one. As the cubs continue to interact with Maneki, they begin to relax. Maneki watches them, showing a more relaxed posture herself. She's no longer on high alert, and she's allowing the cubs to move around her, which is a sign of tolerance. This first meeting was critical, and now the cubs can start learning more about the adult tiger behavior. But this is only the beginning. There are still many adult tigers to meet, and not all of them may be as accepting as Maneki. The next few weeks will be crucial for the cubs, and they will need to continue showing the same respect and understanding they've shown with Maneki if they are to gain the acceptance of the other tigers in the compound. But for now, Giles is relieved. This was the first step toward the cubs' integration into the adult tiger community, and it's gone better than anyone could have hoped for. No aggression, no fear, just a cautious step forward into the unknown. The cubs have shown that they are capable of understanding and respecting the social dynamics of their new home, and that's a huge achievement. But as Giles knows, this is just the beginning. There's still much to learn and much to prove. Will the rest of the adult tigers be as welcoming? Will the cubs continue to thrive in the face of uncertainty? The future remains unclear, but for today, the cubs have passed their first test. For those watching, the journey of Spot and Stripe is only just beginning. The challenges ahead are vast, but the cubs have already shown that they are capable of navigating them. Will they continue to earn their place among the adult tigers, or will they face greater struggles in the days to come? Only time will tell.